Revolution Resources Corporation is a TSX-listed exploration company based in Vancouver, British Columbia. The company's current exploration activities are focused on two flagship projects, one located in the Champion Hills district of the Carolina Slate Belt and the other in Mexico. The Carolina Slate Belt was home to the first gold rush in the United States. Since then, North Carolina has produced an estimated 37.3 tons of gold, most notably at the Ridgeway mine, which produced 1.5 million ounces of gold. In modern exploration, Remarco's Hale project is leading the way with over 4 million ounces of gold in the measured and indicated categories. Revolution Resources' 100% owned Champion Hills project is over 100,000 acres and contains multiple historic pits and workings within a 25-kilometer long trend. While home to 7 zones with rich potential, Revolution Resources has focused its exploration on the Laughlin and Jones Keystone zones. Laughlin and Jones Keystone was home to sporadic shallow mining efforts around the turn of the century and again in the 1930s. In the early 1990s, Noranda Exploration did some mapping, trenching, sampling, and shallow drilling at both properties before abandoning them due to low metal prices.
Picking up private land in the U.S. has all sorts of benefits because you're not dealing, especially from an exploration standpoint, any sort of permitting requirement. So a big shock to us as we did our own due diligence was first, if we picked up a piece of land on a Saturday, we could actually drill or do any sort of exploration we wanted to on a Sunday. There is zero permitting requirement, which always, it reduces your exploration risk for sure, but also reduces your time frame of doing something. Then I think a second surprise that we were pleasantly happy about was the willingness of the locals and the surrounding communities to want to see gold exploration back in the Carolinas. There's such a rich history in the area. People welcomed us with open arms. Soon after we brought on some of the local support from a staffing standpoint, we were starting to see a number of offers come in. And then third is the district size potential of the area. We first picked up 2 old operating areas of the Laughlin and Jones Keystone, which is where our primary resource will come from. But then we picked up 5 others, the America's First Silver Mines in Silver Valley and Silver Hill. Then we picked up Hoover Hill. And then you saw, which I guess would be our biggest surprise, was Remarco came in and bought land around us, which I think really validated the widespread potential for the area.
Since Revolution acquired the project, they have undertaken their own drill programs at both targets, completing 27 holes and over 4,700 meters at Laughlin, and 48 holes and 10,440 meters at Jones Keystone. Highlights of the latest drill programs include 74 meters at 1.12 grams per ton gold, including 30 meters of 2.59 grams per ton gold, beginning near surface at Laughlin, and 104 meters of 1.27 grams per ton gold, including 40 meters of 2.33 grams per ton gold at Jones Keystone. Both of these zones show consistent mineralization near surface, along with a few high-grade chutes, and remain open in all directions.
Our next focus is we need to move towards a resource. We've been able to extend strike length at both properties to 400 meters and 1,000 meters for the layman. Basically, we've been able to expand the known resource at the area and hopefully connect 2 of the areas together to make what we believe could be a super pit, potentially. The drilling next year that we'll move into, obviously we think hopefully will expand and increase the ounces in the area, but we also hope to identify some of the higher grade areas that we just haven't done follow-up drilling on. We really slowed things down after some of the permitting overhangs that Remarco went through, and we hope this year that we tag into another higher grade zone like we have with this initial drilling.
In Mexico, Revolution has the option to earn 100% ownership in the Mexican portfolio of Lakeshore Gold and formerly of West Timmins Mining. The portfolio is comprised of 4 different properties in 2 prolific belts of Mexico. Revolution's 370,000 plus hectare Universo property is the major focus and is located at the heart of a 300-kilometer long trend of significant precious and base metal mines and deposits. Goldcorp's Pensaquito mine and their recently acquired Camino Rojo project lie just to the north, and Grupo Mexico's Charcas mine to the south. Mexico
is always, from an explorer's standpoint, is obviously one of the best areas in the world to look at. And then you go into the mining perspective, and it still is one of the best mining areas in the world. It produces more gold and more silver than any other country on the planet. So as an explorer, you always hope that your discovery is going to lead to one day being in production. So that's what attracted us first to Mexico, because it's an area our group has not gone to before. We have obviously specialties in other uncharted areas like Yukon and Alaska, but that's what drew us to Mexico. Second was the land size and the actual portfolio that we were able to pick up. It would take somebody years to stake, individually work with local groups and communities to tie up a portfolio like we've been able to put together. A lot of that credit goes to Dr. Peter McGaw, who did a lot of this early work prior to for West Timmins and Lakeshore, because he was the individual who did end up bringing this portfolio to us.
Initial drilling at Universo is highlighted by drill hole 10, which intersected 42.4 grams per ton gold over 0.97 meters with abundant visible gold, and hole 12 with 16.8 meters of 0.596 grams per ton gold and 14.17 grams per ton silver. These strongly anomalous gold and silver values suggest potential for undiscovered gold and silver structures. Revolution's 18,000 hectare La Bufa property is located along a prominent trend which includes Goldcorp's El Salzal gold mine, Mag Silver's Batopilas property, and Pan American Silver's Alamo Dorado mine. Revolution Resources undertook some reconnaissance, including mapping, sampling, and drilling in the summer of 2012, which produced highlights of 21.3 grams per ton gold and 40.2 grams per ton silver over 0.25 meters and multiple new precious metal surface showings. These results, along with high-grade surface samples and the desirable location, gives Revolution Resources confidence that the potential for high-grade discoveries at La Bufa is great. Over the next 6 to 12 months, Revolution plans on drilling 3,000 to 5,000 meters at Champion Hills to test new targets for a maiden 43101 resource. Follow-up drilling at Universo will use RAB, or rotary air blast drilling, a common technique in Australia and Western Africa. The purpose of this drilling is to expand the known mineralized zones, which remain open in all directions and untested at depth.
We've been able to bring together a pretty talented group. From our technical advisory board, and I'll start there. You've got Darren Wagner, who sold West Timmins to Lakeshore, so the last CEO to work on these portfolios. But I think just as important as Darren, who helped me a lot with the negotiations, is Dr. Peter McGaw and his expertise with Mag Silver. And he has grown a world-class silver company in Mexico, and we lean on Peter and a lot of his geological group, Cascabel, down in that area. From our own internal group, our group is best known for the underworld discovery up in the Yukon, which was sold to Kinross. Rob McLeod and Michael Williams have been partners for years in that area. I think Rob is one of the most talented young geologists around, and I think he's done a great job in going into an area like Carolina where few have gone. Only really Remarco, who's gone to South Carolina, had kind of the entrepreneurship and the fortitude to go and do it themselves. And Rob was really the driving force to saying, Aaron, this is a great idea, and this is something that we should pursue. Really, how do I fit into the group? My background is on the capital market side and raising the dollars for a lot of these juniors. I put together a number of these companies. It's how I met the likes of Peter McGaw with another company we started with Michael Williams together about 5 years ago. And I'm really on the hook for the capital needs of these explorers and hopefully seeing them through to a discovery.
Revolution Resources has approximately $2 million in the bank and a tight share structure, with just over 90 million shares outstanding and 110 million fully diluted. 65% of the shares are owned institutionally and another 14% are held by management. For more information on Revolution Resources, visit www.revolutionresourcescorp.com or click on their banner at resourcespots.com.